Easy Tigers, I hope everyone is fine and dandy. Welcome back and happy Christmas and happy festive season to you all. We're going to jump straight into it in this session and we're going to be looking at forbidden archaeology on the Giza Plateau of nugs that I've been collecting for the last year. And we'll be starting off with this image, and it's crystal clear that this is an air pocket or an air bubble that is inside the granite casing stone that's sitting outside the funeral temple just outside the Sphinx in Giza. Now, how is this possible if this has been cut from a quarry? This granite has been cut from a quarry. How would that be possible to have an air bubble like that? It'd be impossible. But we will be looking at this in great detail, and I want to show you the difference between geopolymer granite and also granite cut from a quarry. I mean, look at this. You'd only get this result if you was to cast it over the stone below it, as if the mixture was in some sort of slurry or something like that. The best way to describe it is it'd be acting like concrete, and it's no different. It's no different. It's a chemical reaction that acts as a binder in between the materials. Now, see where the arrows are? To get that bulb in the centre of the stone, you'd have to literally erase or shave off all of the stone around the bulb to make that little lump. Now, I don't believe that's what went down. I believe this is a air pocket, just a natural air pocket that got caught out. So that's just one of the anomalies. Now let's have a look at some other stuff. Now, if you like this sort of stuff, guys, let me know by giving it a like and a subscribe and a share. So let's have a look at some casing stones on the Giza Plateau. Now, this is where I would say that this here, the granite here, has possibly been cut with some sort of technology. And the reason I'm saying that is because you can clearly see the distinction of the material of this stone in comparison to the one that had the bulb on it. Completely different. Look at it. But phenomenal. And again, I just want to stress, because I claim about geopolymer on the Giza Plateau, it doesn't mean that I'm claiming everything to be geopolymer. Don't forget, this time period that we're looking at spans thousands of years, so it's only right that they've had different techniques throughout these years, and it'd be foolish to sit there and say everything is cast when it isn't. But with the granite sitting in front of this limestone, you can see that some of the blocks have been pushed up against the core blockwork limestone, which causes these little square indents or these square impressions. Now, the next image is just 100% proof. Now, how would you get this Z-looking block from a quarry and then put in at the base of one of the pyramids? Now, what's happened here is part of the bottom block on the top left-hand corner hasn't cured properly. So when they've poured the block on top, it's merged into the one underneath, which has caused this strange looking shaped block. But imagine trying to cut that stone out of a quarry in that shape and then transporting it and then fitting it there. It just wouldn't make any sense, would it? It'd make sense if it was like concrete being cast on top of each other, because that's the exact same result that you would get there. Now, I've been doing this with my research for the last 6 years. I've been going around the world looking at stuff that's cast, and I will be showing you some stuff in a minute to do with the Sphinx. But another image I just want to show you, I just want to jump to Malta quickly, because again, we have cast stones. We have this overflapping material, and these materials make up this humongous frequency pattern that we're looking at now. And I have been working on my book exposing all this, and it will be out, I'd say, sometime mid next year. But back to Giza. So something I found very strange here, and I want to point this out. So this is images from the first time I went there. You can see that it's been cast in 3 major sections in layers. You can clearly, distinctly see these joint marks running down from top to where the stonework starts, halfway up the Sphinx. Now, when I went there the second time, I couldn't believe my mince pies. I couldn't believe it, because they actually poured some sort of material over the Sphinx to cover up the joint marks. Check this out. So what you'll be able to see now is where you see them joint marks, there is now a material that has been poured down over them cracks to cover up the joint marks. And you can see that there's a slight discoloration to the original stone that's already there. The stone that's underneath is a bit more vibrant, and the one that's on top is a bit more pale. Look, you can clearly see it. So at what point did these guys, and who was it that poured this material over the Sphinx to cover up the joint marks? Who was it? Why would you cover up the joint marks? Is that to show people that it's not cast? Look at it. You can see the distinction in the colours underneath. I'm going to put them side by side for you so you can have a look. No more joint marks, but there is an abundant amount of discoloration from two different materials. The original core blockwork and the material that has been poured over it. The top image is the first time I went there. The second image is the last time I went there. And it's 2 years apart. And look at that. Absolutely unbelievable. So who was it that decided to do that and cover up the joint marks? And at what point did they do that? Did they do it at night time so people couldn't see anything? And one more thing I want to show you to do with cast stones is I come across this hieroglyph. This hieroglyph is depicting people sourcing material, breaking it down into manageable form, carrying it in manageable form, and then casting it into sizes where they need it. Now, look at the pure size, and people don't talk about this. The Giza Plateau is made up of blocks itself. It's not just the pyramids that are made up of blocks. And I don't understand why archaeologists don't say this stuff. It's crazy. Look how many blocks are on the floor. Look at the floor and how many blocks it's made up of. I've even found red sandstone geopolymer bricks at the base of the pyramid as well, which I'll be showing you shortly. But again, look how this is the Giza Plateau. Look how many blocks it's made up of, Al. Absolutely bonkers, right? Yet no one says anything. Just humongous cast stones. See, people say, how did they build the pyramids? There's more stones on the actual Giza Plateau than the actual pyramids together. Now, another thing I discovered while I was here, which will be for other videos, and I've already presented some of it, is the abundant amount of services and pipes that ran from the pyramids to other pyramids and boat pits to other parts of the complex. Again, that's something archaeologists haven't picked out, and it's going to be something that's going into my book. Well, it's already in the book. So check this out, guys. I want you to really leave a comment as well, because this is baffling me. Now, this is similar to what we just see on the Sphinx with the two different types of limestone colours. So I believe these were little additions by the Romans when they tried to take over this place. But it's very interesting what I'm about to show you. So they've smeared, by the way, these are not solid blocks that you can see here. Look, my hand's on it. It's not a solid block. This is a material that's been smeared over blocks. And you'll see that. You'll see that in a minute. Because you'll see red bricks. And then there was obviously some sort of render that went over that, because you can see a little remnant of it. I mean, look at this. I'll say that one in the middle is natural stone. And I'm just pointing out a little red brick. There you go. So you can see that there's red bricks made out of red sandstone in front of the Giza Plateau, on the Giza Plateau in front of the pyramids, entwined and at the base of one of the pyramids. Now, we don't really get natural red sandstone looking like that. So this just goes to prove that these are man-made stones, because they didn't cut that red sandstone out of a quarry. That is sandstone that's had some sort of red pigment added to it to give it that vibrant pink. So if you ask me, this was done by the Romans. Look at that red brick all at the base of the pyramid. And it's not modern red brick. It's red sandstone with a pigment of red in it. Let's give it a pinkish look. Look at that. Look at that. Was we ever meant to discover this? I don't know. So let's have a look at the channel marks. Again, I'm just going to be pointing out in this video all the stuff that archaeologists haven't pointed out and all the stuff that's going in my book. I know I've spoken about this many a time, but it's something that needs to be put out there. So don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and share. So what are these channels with all these cavity boxes? Why was the basalt floor ripped up and all the pipework and plumbing removed? Why is there channels coming from this shaft going to other pyramids and boat pits underneath the basalt floor? Why? Questions. Why didn't archaeologists say anything about this? And why hasn't any Egyptian historian spoke about this? Because this, to me, screams that this place was not a necropolis and it wasn't for the dead. To have this amount of abundant plumbing, it was clearly to sustain life, not to sustain dead people. Shafts, one goes incredibly far down and one has a little ledge, which you can see. Interesting. So this is no more than modern day plumbing and modern day building. This is what you see today. You'd have a concrete floor today with slabs, and underneath that concrete floor would be pipes and channels and cables. And that's exactly what's gone on here. Exactly what's gone on. So it's interesting. And I just want to point out that all these materials are completely different. Considering they're meant to have come from the same place, they all act completely different and look completely different. I mean, look at this. Look at this. I mean, blocks everywhere. Like I told you, the blocks are everywhere. So guys, I'd like you to share this video, and I'm going to be doing some lives. I'm going to be doing loads of lives over the Christmas period, just to show you the footage that I collected in Egypt, Sicily and Matera. I mean, look, what would go here? I can only imagine cisterns or fountains or something like that. But whatever it was incredibly advanced. It was well thought of, it was planned, materials were sourced, and the job was executed to an extremely high level. Look at this. You can see, this is crystal clear, that this channel is going straight to that pyramid in the background. And it hits these various square cavities on the way. Now, was these square cavities water points for above the basalt floor? Because don't forget, all this would be underneath the basalt floor. Or was this some sort of pressure reducing valves that sat there? I mean, look at this, it still goes on. And take note, the floor that I'm walking on is made up of humongous blocks. Not symmetrical square slabs, but humongous blocks. And you'll see this. I mean, why would you put this wooden walkway directly onto... I know why you would do it, because there's obviously something significant underneath that wooden walkway that they don't want people to know. That if you just put 2 and 2 together, you'd get 4. So they don't want people to do that. So they just give you half of the recipe and hide the other half. Phenomenal, isn't it? Well, just branching off, but it goes underneath this wooden... Again, just look at the sheer blocks. The floor, the walls, everything is blocks. And people just say the pyramid's made out of blocks. No. No. Even the causeway is made out of humongous blocks. The floors. And with the way these pipes, you can tell which way the water's flowing. So it's coming away from that large pyramid, the Khafre pyramid. It's coming away from there and distributing to the smaller pyramids and the boat pits. So there you go, guys, a little teaser, a little snippet of what will be in my book that I've been working on. I've been doing 2 hours a night, not every night, but most nights after work to get this book out, because I believe it's going to be a #1 seller. Hardly anyone speaks about this. Hardly anyone. I've been screaming from the top of my voice for years about these cast stones on the pyramid, on the plateau. And there's a few people that are talking about it now, but I've gone out and collected the evidence. I've got all the footage here. So I hope you like that, guys. And I'll be doing lives on Monday, tomorrow. I'll be doing lives every day, every single day till New Year's Eve, showing the footage I've collected. So if you like this sort of stuff, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and share the work if you can. And if you wish to support me, I don't have a Patreon no more because they've removed my Patreon without even asking me. Twice that's happened to me now. But I do have a PayPal, and the links will be in the description, guys. One love. Happy Christmas, and I wish you all the best. Ta-das. Ta-da.